right, away we go.
Hey, this is Dr. Buzz with Buckeye Physical Medicine and Rehab. BuckeyePMR.com is a website. I'm here today with Chuck, who I thought was Dave, but it's Chuck. What's up, Chuck? And we are changing
I've never heard
subjects
that before.
But anyways, he's a patient at Buckeye. He did a stem cell procedure on his shoulder, so we're going to talk about that a little bit today. So we're going to cut the break, and we'll be right back.
Okay, ready?
Right. Hey, this is Dr. Buzz. I'm back with Buckeye Physical Medicine and Rehab. BuckeyePMR.com's website. I'm here today with Chuck. What's going on, Chuck?
Just happy to be here.
Yeah, and we're talking a little bit about Chuck. You do a couple things. You're a photographer. You conceal carry. Is there anything else you didn't tell me about?
Well, let's see. I'm a retired school teacher
Where'd you teach?
in Pickaway County.
All right. What'd you teach? What subject?
Well, I spent 8 years as a full-time substitute teacher. I taught a little bit of everything.
Substitute's rough. I remember when the substitute would come in our class. We try you every time.
Oh,
You gotta lay the law down.
I used to hear the horror stories. The kids would come in and say, "Yeah, we had Miss So and So as a substitute in our class last period, and we sent her home crying." I said, "It's not going to work with me, guys."
So you got to come in with an attitude or something.
Oh
right?
yeah.
But I do some so were cool. But some of them we would just run over and like nothing like that. Anyways, I was a good kid, by the way. I wasn't.
I'm sure you were.
Anyways, so you were, and then would you end up teaching full time after that, or you're a full time sub?
No, actually, I let me step backwards. I was a minister for 11 years. Retired from that. The teaching took over. My photography business actually outgrew that, and so the teaching got set aside. I've sat on a board of a couple schools, couple charter schools, and I figure you only go around once in life. I'm going to do the things I enjoy.
Awesome. So photography, and then you also do concealed carry classes?
Yes, I help teach the concealed carry classes. Enjoy sharing the joy of brass and black powder therapy.
It is therapeutic.
It is.
It is therapeutic.
Well, people don't understand that. If you go to the gun range and if you're all tense and you make loud noises and smoky, for an hour or so, and you go home, you are relaxed.
The funnest thing for me is I have some guns also. Is when you take someone who's never shot before, and we host a child from Hong Kong every year. In Hong Kong, there's no guns.
Oh my!
So they go down to my safe, and I have a couple ARs and these things, and these kids are like, "Wow!" They have this video, and we take them to the range, and it's just the look on their face. It's just crazy, and and every kid, in my opinion, I don't know, I'm sure you feel the same way, should at least hold a gun, shoot a gun, so they respect a gun. Because what I think there's issues is if they don't respect them because they don't know what it is and they find it for the first time.
As long as they learn those basics, okay. These things are enjoyable. People can get hurt with them, but if you know what you're doing, you know the rules of safety.
In particular, if you have a gun in your house and you have children, number one, it should be locked up.
Exactly. 100%.
And I can tell you, we're getting off topic for a second, but this is a true story. When I was a child, my dad had some guns, but they hid him. We didn't have a safe in our house. We didn't have a lot of money, and he had a Ruger single six. It was a 22.
It's a great little gun.
And it's a single action. So what that means, if you're listening, is you got to cock it back to pull the. You got to cock it every time. It's not like it doesn't do it automatically. So I remember my mom was cleaning the closet, and I had a bulldog, an English bulldog, Ruby, and she hated when I point toy guns at her. So there was a shoebox, and I pulled the gun out. And it was a real gun, but I had never shot a gun, so I didn't respect guns. Ooh. And I remember looking, and I don't know how old I was, probably young, 6 years old, I don't even know. And I remember looking in the chamber, or where the cylinder was, and I couldn't see any bullets. Like, oh, cool, it's empty. So I cocked it back one time and pointed at the dog. This is a true story. No. And it didn't, and the trigger wouldn't pull. And all I could think is I broke the gun. And my dad's going to find out, and he's going to beat me, because back then, Dad would spank you, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm freaking out.
That's when it was still legal.
Yeah. So it's a true story. So I'm sitting there, and my mom's in the closet. I'm petrified to tell her, because the only thing I knew is don't touch guns. That was the rule. I didn't know anything about it. Don't touch guns. The hammer's halfway back. It won't go down. That means I broke it. So in panic, I pulled it back all the way and pointed at the floor, and it shot.
Oh no! Now I see why the dog didn't like guns.
Yeah. So, but you can imagine if it wouldn't have been that double action single pull, my dog would have been dead, or would have been pointing at someone else. So the point there is, number one, keep your guns locked up. Number two, if maybe they had showed me this is what the power of this thing was, and luckily, this is the crazy thing, We had shag carpet in the bedroom. My mom had green shag carpet, so it shot into the floor. Must have hit it was a 22, so it never even came through the bottom. So we never found where it went or anything.
And the hole hid in the shag.
We couldn't even find the hole.
Well, you lucked out.
So anyways, that's so something, there is a God. Yeah, that's one of those situations. But anyways, let's get back to you. You had a shoulder injury. How did you hurt your shoulder in the first place?
I got old. Seriously, it's just over.
But nothing
over
happened. It wasn't like
no,
an old injury.
no, there was no traumatic injury or anything. It's just the joint itself. Just it got to a point where I couldn't lift my arm and.
When you say you couldn't lift your arm, like because we're on radio.
I mean, yeah, I could. Yeah. Look into your radio right now.
Yeah.
I couldn't raise my arm above my shoulder.
Was it like a slow progression though?
Yes, it was a slow, steady progression. When I'm standing in the shower, I had to lift my arm and rest it on the windowsill so I could wash the right side of my head. But
over what period of time would you say? So
that took.
And how old are you? Just because we're on radio once again.
I'm 67. I'll be 68.
You look great, by the way.
Thank you.
So it maybe started like how many years earlier did you start developing this pain in your shoulder?
That's probably over a couple-year period.
Okay.
And
that's usually the way degeneration works.
Yeah, slow, steady progression. It actually went. The joint itself hurt for ages, and I started holding my arm funny because I couldn't move, and the muscle and the tendons and the bicep, and that ended up being more painful than the shoulder itself. And
so the pain would ache down your arm.
Oh my goodness, yes.
You're pointing your right arm. Are you right-handed?
I'm right-handed,
of course. So then, what did you try? So did you take any like Advil or the doctor?
Yeah,
what was your medical?
Did the Advil? I tried all the various. I mean, everything from just your basic aspirin to Tylenol. All of the things that are. I'm finding out now are bad for you. Tried to kill my liver with some of the NSAIDs.
So you took all those kind of over the counter, kind of self-medicating.
Exactly.
Kind of
Yeah.
And that's what most people do.
And you get a little relief for a little while, but eventually it's the pain's still there. It just masks it.
And then, how about, do you ever do any like cortisone injections or anything like that? Or?
Yes, I for probably a couple of years, and it got to the point we're talking about guns. A friend of mine got a new M1A1. And said, "Would you like to go shoot this thing?" And he brought a couple other guns, and I shot have you ever shot anything? 45-70 that kicks like a mule.
Yeah, so get punched.
Yes, and so I had gone to the doctor, got a cortisone injection the next afternoon.
So you went before you were shooting the gun?
No, I got the cortisone. Yeah, well, I got the cortisone the first day, and then went to the range the next day, and it started hurting then, and it never got better. Cortisone didn't work from then on. So.
Yeah. And what a lot of people don't realize, and I don't know if you do, is what you did is pretty typical. When people have a degenerative condition, usually you self-medicate first with NSAIDs, which are non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, Aleve, Tylenol, those type of things, and which there's nothing wrong with those for if you have a headache or short-term pain, it's fine. Stub your toe, it's fine. But those never work for chronic pain. They just don't. And what a lot of people don't realize is people think because those are over the counter, we're talking about Tylenol, Aleve, Advil, and you can go buy 1,000 count of them. I could send my 13-year-old boy to go buy it at CVS right now if I give him a $10 bill. People assume, well, it's safe and you can take it because, if a kid can buy it and you can buy 1,000 of them, it's got to be safe, right? And, last year in the United States, over 20,000 people died from taking NSAIDs. So we're talking about over-the-counter NSAIDs, and it's actually the 16th leading cause of death in the U.S. That's crazy, right?
That doesn't surprise me.
But there's people that take it. I mean, that's why you go to Costco, they have like it's 5,000 calories, the big, I don't know, it probably weighs 5 pounds of that stuff. And there's people that just chew those things every day. That's their normal life. And what people also don't realize that I go over at the seminars is NSAIDs kill stem cells. So, and you have stem cells, I have stem cells. We all have stem cells that are healing not just your shoulder pain, but healing everything in your body.
Right.
Your heart, your connective tissue, everything. And if you're sitting listening to the radio show and you're taking NSAIDs every day, number one, it's never going to cure your chronic pain if you're taking it for chronic pain. Number two, there's a risk of gastrointestinal and kidney problems. Like I said, 20,000 people died last year from those exact same things. And you're killing your own stem cells. So you're making your heart weaker, all your connective tissue weaker. Like you're literally destroying your own body's ability to heal by taking those for chronic pain. Not talking about if you take them for a headache or something, but taking them every day.
Well, as my pain continued on, I started reading, I started educating myself, and I saw, the side effects of these things, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm doing my body more harm than I am good.
Right.
And
so, and then usually what they'll do is then they'll go to their doctor, like, say, hey, my shoulder's hurting, and then the standard of care in orthopedics is a cortisone shot. Not only is it uncomfortable, but cortisone, I mean, I always tell people, if you're only allowed to get 3 per year per joint, that's telling you something. Cortisone, every injection causes up to 8% bone loss and mineral loss and tendon weakening. 8%. So if you get your 3 per year, which you're allowed, legally, anything more than that would be medical malpractice, that's 24% loss in bone mass and tendon strength. 24% a year. And most of the people that we have come into the office that rupture biceps, rupture rotator cuffs, tear major knee ligaments, you do their history, they had a cortisone injection. Why? Because it weakens the joint. And it speeds up that whole degenerative process. And, I'll be honest with you, before I know what I knew now, when I was in college, I hurt my shoulder and I had a cortisone injection. Because that's just what you did, right? And about 2 days later, I actually felt a lot better. I was back in the gym doing what I was doing. A month later, I tore my pec. And I never correlated at the time. It was before I was in medicine or anything. I didn't correlate it. I just thought it was what it was. But what happened is that cortisone damaged my tendon. And that's how I ended up with a little bit of bursitis or tendonitis I had turned into a major rupture, which was a big deal. So anyways, a lot of people don't realize that. So so you did cortisone. That didn't help out. And then how did you find us?
Facebook, of all places.
You're a Facebooker too?
Yeah, I'm a Facebooker too, yeah. Yeah, the streets out here, that isn't, the real world is Facebook. Anybody want, so I was looking at something and an ad popped up on my page. I'm thinking, okay, this is interesting. And I'm sitting in my chair, massaging my shoulder, and that's, and my right hand is the mouse hand. So, so I'm clicking and rubbing my shoulder, and I said, okay, I'm going to check this out. And it was about the stem cells. Thinking, okay, if I can use this to reprogram my body or make it fix itself from the inside out, I don't want cut. The doctor that was giving me the injections with the cortisone said, well, if you have to come back more often, maybe we should consider surgery. Thank you.
So surgery was thrown out there.
Thank you, but no thank you,
And shoulder surgery, and sometimes you need it. The therapies we do they can't fix everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why we offer a free consultation. If we can't help you, we're going to let you know. But shoulder surgery in particular, you're looking at 6 to 12 months of downtime. The recovery on a shoulder procedure is not good. You wake up with your arm in the sling and it's attached to your body. I mean, if you see someone walking around the mall with it,
right,
they're looking at 6 to 12 months of rehab, which if you're right-handed, that stinks.
Yeah, and everything I do, my photography work, the editing on the computer, I actually was starting to practice shooting left-handed.
So, we're not taking your gun.
There we go. Well, I didn't know if my right hand, if I was going to be able to hold a weapon.
Gotcha. So you came out the Facebook ad. They did the consultation, and I guess you qualified, obviously.
Yes. Oh, I clicked on the link, and I don't remember. I don't remember if I called the office, but I know. No, as a matter of fact, I clicked on the link and just fill out the little thing, and I must have given them my phone number. Excuse me. But within an hour or so,
someone got a hold of you. He's choking over here. But so basically, you came in for the consultation, and I think you did stem cells. We have to do Heimlich on you here in a second. So
it is the season.
Yeah, it is. So you came into the. We'll cut the break real quick. But I'm going to do Heimlich real quick on him, and then we'll be right back.
Thank you. It'll dry out, and it won't come back for a few minutes.
Here, I know.
It'll get better here.
Yeah, no worries. So what's going on with you? Anything with you?
No. Gonna get my, I got an appointment to come in and get blood work done.
You do?
The day after the Super Bowl. That Monday. I'm off work that day, so.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Who's gonna win?
I don't know. My buddy and I are making a bet on it. He can't stand Philadelphia, and he doesn't like New England, but he's betting that New England will win. We always make a fun bet for a pizza. Nothing serious. And sometimes when we're both rooting for the same team, it's like, okay, who's going to, what do you think the score will be? And whoever comes closest.
Yeah, you go for a point spread?
Yeah, something like that, or the, total score. What do you think the total score will be? And we'll have over-unders, and, he's a lawyer, so he loves math, and smart guy, so he keeps track of that stuff. And I've won about half of them, and he's won about half of them.
That's gambling, man. It's 50-50.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just a pizza.
Yeah.
And we can both afford that. And we always end up about 3 months later during baseball season watching a baseball game on his big screen and eating pizza.
Perfect.
So I'm rooting for Philadelphia. Their fan base has never had a Super Bowl. They haven't had a championship since 1960. No, they've been in 2 Super Bowls. They played the Patriots in 2004 and lost. That was McNabb. I was a huge McNabb fan when he was in Syracuse. College football is my favorite sport. So I
would rather
follow
watch
these guys
college
in college
football than pro ball any day.
And when I was a kid, Cleveland Browns and Minnesota Vikings were my 2 favorites. But I like Philadelphia. Their fans are a little cray-cray, but, they're crazy. But
that'll be. I didn't know that.
The Patriots have won a lot. The Patriots have won. Give somebody else a chance. Somebody else at Philadelphia a chance to. Hey, we won. Let's burn down the city. No, let's not. I never understood that. We won. Let's destroy the city. If you lost, you're pissed. Then destroy the city.
It doesn't make any difference. It's an excuse to destroy the city.
Yeah, for some people, like I graduated from Ohio State. I've lived in Columbus my entire life. I was going to ask you. You ever teach at Tays Valley?
Yes.
Okay, my cousins went there. Did you ever know Dan Ramey?
Yes.
Okay.
Or Dave Ramey.
Dan used to work here.
Okay.
A long time ago. I've been here about 34 years. And Carla Ramsey, she graduated with Dan from Tays Valley. That's my cousin.
My
aunt and
both my
uncle
daughters
owned
graduated from Tays Valley.
My aunt and uncle owned I graduated from Upper Arlington in '81. Carla and Dan were 80 from Tays Valley, and then she has a younger brother, Tom, and a younger brother, Alan. They all, 2 of them live in Pickaway County. And my aunt and uncle had a flower shop in Asheville for Ramsey's Flower Shop.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's my last name. It's my dad's brother and sister-in-law.
Okay.
Yep, small world. When you said that, teaching in Pickaway County, I immediately thought...
The little Methodist church in South Bloomfield. I pastored that for about 6 years, and then we started a church in the
I don't know what
Nazarene.
church my aunt and uncle go to, but they live on South Bloomfield, Royalton Road.
Okay.
For almost 40 years.
Yeah. They're probably Methodist, most everybody in the area. They are.
I don't know. I'm agnostic.
I'm
okay with any religions.
Yeah.
And I have friends who are atheists and friends who are Christians, and I'm okay with it.
All right, ready? Are you okay?
I'm good.
All right.
You're okay.
All right. Mike, in case you need to fill in.
Oh, I'm ready. I know all his answers.
If he falls, just jump in.
He's studied. He's going to fight anyone.
Just signal to the bullpen. And I'll
Exactly.
All right, cool. All right.
Bring in the right-hander from Baltimore.
Well, if somebody's going to do mouth-to-mouth, I want it to be her and not him.
Yeah.
He specializes, actually. Jim specializes.
She just had a spoonful of peanut butter. You don't want that.
Hey.
Bring in Mike Cuellar. Let's go. We ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Hey, this is Dr. Buzz. I'm back. Talking to Chuck here. We're talking about he had done some stem cells in his shoulder before I had to do Heimlich. We're okay though. You okay?
I think I'm going to make it now. Yeah.
All right. But anyway, so you came in for the consultation. So a lot of people don't understand how the whole consultation process works. Maybe kind of explain what happened. You came in, you met with a physician, or how did that work?
Well, yeah, we and we talked, and he did some initial evaluation, did some X-rays, and he explained all of the possible things that he could do, and he said, I'm a perfect candidate for the treatment. He explained what would happen with the stem cell injections, with the ozone. I don't remember the thing. It felt like a pneumatic jackhammer.
Shockwave therapy.
Yeah, that was a thrill.
Yeah.
But
so you had shockwave, ozone, and stem
cell. Yeah.
Got it.
And the combination of all of them worked great. We're going to start some actual physical therapy next week.
Oh, fantastic.
And hopefully, I'll build it back up.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, and what a lot of people don't realize is, so number one, not everyone qualifies for stem cells. So that's why we offer a free consultation. Come in because we'll come in and evaluate you. We only accept patients we know we can help. And if we can't help you, we'll let you know. And sometimes you need surgery. And sometimes you don't need stem cells. You just need some physical therapy, or you need other medical stuff. I mean, not everyone needs stem cells.
Exactly. And one of the things that I really appreciated about, I mean, we actually had talked money, and he explained, how much it would cost. I'm thinking, if I were to go do surgery, by the time I paid all of the deductibles and the co-pays, I'm going to have more than that invested, and then I'm going to have a big scar across my shoulder. And
what's your downtime worth?
Yeah, exactly.
What's 6 to 12 months of your life not being able to use your right arm?
Yeah, exactly.
So but unfortunately, stem cells is considered elective. It's not covered by insurance.
Unfortunately.
Which I can put my cynical hat on. We can talk about why it's not covered, but you can't patent a stem cell, so there's no money for drug companies. So there'll never be a CPT code for it. So there'll never be. The only place you're seeing stem cells now are when it's used in conjunction with drug therapies, like for cancer and MS, in which it works amazing. But the drug companies will fund that because you have to use drugs to wipe out the immune system prior to doing the stem cell procedure, which there's no money in.
Yeah, since I had this, every time I turn around, I hear of a new procedure someone has had that's stem cell related. And I'm thinking, I don't want to call it a miracle procedure, but, it's using your own body, it's training your own body to not to grow new body parts. That sounds too Star Trek.
To grow new tissue, though.
Yeah, exactly.
To grow tissue.
But I'm thinking, okay, I like this concept.
And
so
stem cells have been around since the 70s. And the people who started using it first are athletes. Pretty much any major athlete at this point that gets injured is going to either use stem cells or ozone or some other type of regenerative procedure because they can't afford the downtime. These guys making millions of dollars, and every year is worth how much money to them because their careers are finite. So when these guys get injured, I can remember even when I was younger, if a player tore their ACL, sometimes they'd never come back, but they'd never come back the same year. You have these guys, they tear their ACLs in the beginning of the season, they're back for the playoffs. Surgical procedures haven't improved. It's the same surgery. Attaching a ligament is attaching a ligament, but it's the recovery using regenerative medicine, and I mentioned other shows. I was fortunate enough, and I was introduced to this regenerative medicine. I have a good friend who's a head NFL trainer. And, we just have conversations, and, we had this physical medicine office where we're doing medical procedures, physical therapy, chiropractic massage. We offer everything at Buckeye. But just picking this brain, like, what do you guys do in the NFL? And they weren't doing any of the stuff we were doing. They were doing all this regenerative stuff. They were using,
They needed to come see you.
Yeah, but they were doing ozone, stem cells, growth factors. That's what these NFL guys were doing. I'm like, well, why are we doing this stuff? And he's like, you can. And I was like, well, no one's doing it. And he's like, well, and that's where it all started. So, and we experimented. We've been doing this regenerative procedures longer than anyone in Columbus, at least that I know of. I don't know when anyone's been doing it longer than us. But I also found when I got into this that there was lots of different ways to do it. Some people were using amniotic products and blood products and all this different stuff. And I knew there had to be more to it, but I wanted to get educated. So myself and Dr. Bainan, who's our medical director, went and did a fellowship training program at George Washington University. It's the only stem cell fellowship program available in the United States, which is really the only formal education available other than weekend seminars that people are doing. This was definitely not a weekend seminar.
That's because there's no money in it for them. Yeah.
But we took a year to complete that program. But I'm proud to say at Buckeye that the only two physicians in the state of Ohio who are fellowship trained both work at Buckeye. It's myself and Dr. Bainan. So, but in that process, we figured out the best way to do it. And just putting stem cells in your shoulder, if we wouldn't have done ozone and shockwave, you wouldn't have got the same result. So the key is putting the best cells in there, which is what we use. You would have got a dose of about 500,000 live cells. But then making sure that's a healthy environment by using ozone and using shockwave to increase vascular supply and get blood and nutrients in there to basically feed those cells we put in. That's how you get growth. Unfortunately, I think there's some other people in town now that you go there, and I don't even know what they're using for product. They'll put stem cells in a joint. If you just put stem cells in your joint and you don't do anything to make that joint healthier, it's a waste.
It'll eventually go away.
It just won't work. It just won't work. You have to do these ancillary therapies with it. It's very important to do physical therapy like you're going to do afterwards. Like it's a process. But I mean, did it hurt?
Well,
be honest.
No,
people are listening.
Actually, it didn't. It was an injection, and it.
Like I mean, did it feel how compared to your cortisone injection?
About the same, honestly. Actually, the cortisone may have hurt a little bit more.
Cortisone usually stays. Now, ozone can be uncomfortable. And I think it's because ozone. Really, we're injecting air into there, but it's not air; it's ozone. So it's a pressure feeling.
Yeah, the ozone was it was more. It left the arm a little tender, immediately after she pulled the needle out. But in about 30 seconds, that went away. I don't know if that's just the air dissipating into the tissue or what, but.
Actually, what happens? I'm going to be a nerd here. I'm going to explain what happens. So basically, what happens if you have any type of chronic injury where there's pressure involved, which is a lot of pressure in the shoulder, you fire these nerve endings. They're called TRPV1 receptors. They're nerve endings.
Okay.
And ozone. So if you have chronic pain, they call it neurogenic pain. It can be in your back, your shoulder, and your hip, wherever it's at. Those TRPV1 nerve endings are overstimulated over time. And the way nerves work is the more you stimulate them, the easier they're stimulated. So a lot of times you won't even have anything going on, but it just hurts for no reason. That's what chronic pain is. Ozone shuts those off. But in the process of shutting off, they overstimulate for about 30 seconds. So if you have a chronic injury, neurogenic pain, and we give you ozone and it really hurts, the good news is it's going to fix it.
It's like, hurt me now or hurt me later.
Yeah, so because you get it overstimulates and shuts them off.
Well, that's exactly what happened. So
yeah.
After the first injection, it went away quickly. I'm thinking, okay, this isn't that bad. I can do this. So.
Yeah, and we do them in series. You probably went through I don't know if you did 3 or
several,
6, or I'm not sure what you did.
I know I did at least 5.
Okay, you probably did 6, I would imagine.
Okay,
maybe. So, and the important thing that ozone does is stem cells, whether it's the stem cells we put in or your own stem cells, have to have oxygen to release their growth factors. And the way stem cells work is we have them or we can put them into you. These stem cells release growth factors and feed your dying cells and bring them back to life. Because if you have a degenerative condition like your shoulder and your hip or your knee or your back, wherever, basically your cells are dying quicker than being reproduced. So the stem cells feed your cells so they don't die, so it stops the degeneration. That's how healing occurs. So, but it won't do that in areas where there's no oxygen. And if you look at the areas where people have problems, hips, shoulders, knees, and their back, it's not the muscles, it's the joint. And the reason for that is the joint has no circulation or poor circulation, so there's no oxygen. So the muscle's fine. Why is the muscle fine? Well, the stem cells have oxygen, they can work. The joints don't. So the way we cheat that, and everyone knows hyperbaric chambers help people heal. Well, hyperbaric chamber doesn't work as good as putting ozone right on it. It's the same thought process, but why not put it right where you need it in a much higher dose?
Well, I know it's worked for me.
Yeah. So how's your results now? So basically, you had this procedure done how long ago?
It was in October, and so we're toward the end of January now, so 3 months.
And was it instantly better? Like how? Explain how that goes.
No, it took a couple months before I like I said, I knew it had taken me 67 years for it to go bad, so I didn't expect instant. I wanted instant relief, but it's steady now. I can do things now that I couldn't do 3 months or 6 months ago. I threw a water bottle at the cat the other day, and no, I missed, unfortunately. But I couldn't do that back around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and we always say that these cells or the healing process goes on for about 9 months. So you're not going to know the outcome for 9 months. So you're 3 months in. But what percent better are you at this point?
Oh, I'm easily 50%, easily.
No surgery.
No surgery.
No PT, nothing.
Exactly.
Awesome. So if you're listening, I strongly recommend if you have a chronic injury of some type or been told you're going to have surgery or have to have a joint replaced, you have nothing to lose to come in. Mention the radio show. We don't charge you for a consultation. We'll sit down with you. We'll give a half hour, 45 minutes of our time, evaluate you. If we can help you, we're going to let you know. If we're not, we're going to let you know too. We can't help everybody, but for sure we can't help you if you don't come in. That's for sure. So you can go to our website, which is BuckeyePMR.com. Check us out. Set up an appointment there. We'd love to help you with either stem cells, hormones, ozone. We have all these tools in our toolbox that no one else has in town. So I strongly recommend, if you're suffering with chronic pain, taking pain medications is never going to fix it. NSAIDs, opioids, muscle relaxers, that never fixes chronic pain. So choosing not to try regenerative medicine is choosing to have surgery at some point. So you have to make it. So really, you have to make it. You don't have to make a choice. You have to make a decision. Do I want to do surgery, or do I want to see if this regenerative medicine thing can help?
This was a good choice for me.
Awesome. And then, do you want to plug your photography? I'm holding your card here. I'm playing with it. He's too busy. Yeah. But I really appreciate you coming on here, Chuck. And as I said, please, if you have any interest, check out our website. Until next time.
Thank you. I've pretty much retired.
That's BuckeyePMR.com. BuckeyePMR.com.
I do.